Ecclesiastes, King James Biblia, Chapter 1. The preceding generations forgotten. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath the man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, the sun goeth down, and hasteneth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north, and moveth about continually. The wind returneth again according to its circuits. All rivers run into the sea is in full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it is said, See, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of the former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come, with those that shall come after them. With wisdom cometh sorrow. So I, the preacher, was king over Israel. In Jerusalem I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of men, to be exercised therewith. I have seen all works that are done under the sun. Behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. That which is wanting cannot be numbered. I commune with my own heart, saying, Lo, I have come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yet my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. And I perceive that this also is a vexation of spirit. For much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Chapter 2. The futility of pleasures. I said in my heart, Go, I will prove thee now with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, It's mad, and mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart to give myself to wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, to lay hold on folly, till I might see that which is good for the sons of men, which they should do under heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded houses, I planted vineyards, I made me gardens and orchards. I planted trees in them, all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens. I had servants born in mine house. I also had great possession of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, I increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, or whatsoever my eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked at all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity, vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. Now concerning the wise and the foolish, I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. what can a man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath already been done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly as far as light excelleth darkness. For the wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. I perceived also that one event happened to them all. And said I in mine heart, as it happened to the fool, so then it happened even to me. And why was that I am more wise? I said in my heart that this also is vanity. There's no remembrance of the wise, more than the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As a fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and a vexation of spirit. Futility of work. Yes, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I shall leave it unto a man that cometh after me, and knoweth not whether, and who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool. Yet shall he have rule over all my labor where I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored, therein shall he leave it. For his portion, this also is vanity and a great evil. For what hath man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun, for all his days of sorrows, and his travail grief? Yes, his heart taketh not rest in the night. It's also vanity. For there's nothing better for a man that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw that is from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who can hasten her unto more than I? For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom, and knowledge, and joy. But the sinner he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give it to him that is good before God. This also is vanity and a vexation of spirit. Now, chapter 3. To everything there is a season. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. All the excellence is God's work. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God had given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time, and he hath also set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor, for it is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, or anything taken from it. If God doeth it, that man should fear before him. That which hath been is now, that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past, from dust to dust. Moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Wickedness was there, and I saw the place of righteousness. The iniquity was there. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every purpose and for every work. And I said in my heart concerning the estates of the sons of men, that God manifests them, that they might see that themselves are beasts, for that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing that befalleth them, as one dieth, so dieth the other, yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. All go unto one place, all are for the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore, I perceive that there is nothing better than man should rejoice in his own work, for this is his portion, that he shall bring to him to see what shall be hereafter him. Who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? Chapter 4. Evils of Oppression. So return and consider all oppressions that are done under the sun. Behold the tears of such as were oppressed, for they had no comforter, and on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they which had not yet been, which had not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Again, I consider all travail and every right work, and for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and a vexation of spirit. For the fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. So better is a handful of quietness than both hands filled with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, I saw vanity under the sun. There's one alone, and there is not a second. Yet he hath neither a child nor brother, yet there is no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither say he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? For this also is vanity and a sore travail. So two are better than one, because they have a good reward for the labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him out. Again, if two lie together, they have heat. How can one be warm alone? If one prevail against the two shall withstand him, and the threefold cord is not quickly broken. So better is a poor and a wise child, and an old and a foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas he also that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. I considered all the living which walk under the sun, and with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have come before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Sure, this is vanity, vexation of spirit. Chapter 5. Approaching God with awe. Now keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart to be utter anything before God, for God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore let thy words be few, for a dream cometh through the multitude of busyness, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. When thou vowest a vow to God, defer not to pay it, for there is no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed, because better is that thou shouldest not vow than thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Now say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore God be angry at thy voice, and destroy the work of thy hands. For in a multitude of dreams, many words, there are diverse vanities, but fear thou God. Wealth is meaningless. If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and the violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Or the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, He that loveth abundance with increase is also vanity. What goods increase, they also increase that eat them. So what good is there that the owners thereof say, beholding of them with their eyes? The sleep of a labouring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer in the sleep. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely, riches kept for the owners thereof to their own hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail, and he begetteth his son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and he shall take nothing of his labour which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a sore evil, that in all points, as he came, so shall he go. What profit hath he that laboured for the wind? All the days also he eateth in darkness. He hath much sorrow and wrath in his sickness. Behold, that which is I have seen is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, to enjoy the good of his labour which he had taken under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. Every man also to whom God giveth the riches and wealth, and have given them power to eat thereof, to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labour. This is the gift of God, for he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart. Chapter 6. The futility of life. Now there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, it is common among men, a man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honour, so that he wanted nothing for his soul of all that he desireth. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity and evil and disease. If a man beget 100 children, and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, also that he hath no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he, for he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness. His name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he had not seen the sun, or known anything. This hath more rest than the other, yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told, yet hath he seen no good. Do not all go to one place? All the labour of man is for his mouth, yet the appetite is not filled. What hath the wise more than the fool? What hath the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? So better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This also is vanity, vexation of spirit. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with he that is mightier than he, seeing there be many things that increase vanity. What is man better? Who knoweth what is good for a man in this life? All the days of his vain life which he spenneth is a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? Chapter 7. The value of wisdom. A good name is better than precious ointment in the day of death and the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than go to the house of feasting. For this is the end of all men, and the living lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the house of fools is in the house of mirth. So it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. There is the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This is vanity. So surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. So better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days are better than these, for thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. So wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. If you consider the works of God, who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? So in the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider God hath set the one over against the other, so the end that man to find nothing after him. Limits of human wisdom. All things I have seen in the days of my vanity, there is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness. There is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in wickedness. So be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? It is good that thou shouldest take hold of this, yea, also from this withdraw not thine hand, for he that feareth God shall come forth them all. Now wisdom strengtheneth the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. There is not a just man upon earth that doeth good and sinneth not. Also take no heed unto all the words that are spoken. Also hear thy servant curse thee, for oftentimes also thy own heart knoweth that thou thyself hast likewise cursed others. Also I have proved by wisdom, saying, be wise. It was far from me, that which is so far off, and exceedingly deep, who can find it? Apply my heart to know, to search, and seek out wisdom, and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. I am more bitter than death, a woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands is bands. So pleases God shall escape from her, but the sinners taken by her. Behold, this I have found, saith the preacher, counting one by one, to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 I found, but a woman among all those I found not. Those I have found. God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Chapter 8. Beta King. For who is as the wise man, who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? For a man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face to be changed. I counsel thee to keep the king's commands, and that in regard of the oath of God, be not hasty to go out of his sight. Say not an evil thing, for he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him. With the word of a king there is power, and with whom I say unto him, what doest thou? So whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. A wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Because to every purpose there is time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. For it knoweth not what shall be, or who can tell him when it shall be. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath power in the day of death. There is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. This have I seen, and I applied mine heart unto every work that is done under the sun, that there is a time where one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. Fear God. And so I saw the wicked buried, and who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city, or they had so done. This is also vanity, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it'll be well with those that fear God, that fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. God's ways are mysterious. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men, unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. Then I commended mirth, because a man hath no better thing under the sun and to eat and to drink and be merry. For that shall abide with him of his labor the days of his life, which God giveth him under the sun. And when I applied my heart to know wisdom, and to see the business that is done upon the earth, for also there is that neither day nor night seeth sleep with his eyes, and I beheld all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun, because though a man labor to seek it out, he shall not find it. Further, though a wise man think to know it, he shall not be able to find it. Chapter 9. Death comes to the good and bad. For all this I considered in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of God. No man knoweth either love or hatred by all that is before them. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good, to the clean and to the unclean, to him that sacrificeth, to him that sacrificeth not, as is the good. So is a sinner, he that sweareth, and he that feareth an oath. There is an evil among all things that are done under heaven, under the sun, that there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live. And after that they go to the dead. For to him that is joined to all the living there is hope. For the living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead don't know anything, neither have they any more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love and their hatred, their envy is now perished. Neither have any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. So go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments always be white, and let thy head lack no ornaments. Joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest, all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given unto thee under the sun. All the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in the labors thou takest in the sun. So over thy hand find to do it with thy might. There is no work, or device, or knowledge, or wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. And it returneth on the sun, that the race is not to the swift, nor battle to the strong. Neither is there bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor is there favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, and fall suddenly upon them. This wisdom have I seen under the sun, and it seemed great to me that there was a little city and a few men within it. There came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built bulwarks against it. And now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of the wise man are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. Chapter 10. Dead flies. Dead flies cause the anointment that the apothecary sent forth a stinking savor, so it's a little folly in him. It is a reputation for wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. He that is a fool walketh by the way his wisdom faileth him, and saith every one that he is a fool. And if the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not that place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. For there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an air which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set, great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He diggeth a pit shall fall into it. So breaketh the hedge, a serpent shall bite him. So removeth stone shall be hurt therewith. He that cleaveth the wood shall be endangered thereby. If the iron be blunt and doth not whet the edge, then he must put to more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words, and a man cannot tell what shall be after him who can tell. The labor of the foolish worth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. So woe to thee, O man, thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Bless art thou, land. Thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season. For strength, and not for drunkenness. So by much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth right through. The feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. So curse not the king, and not in thy thought. Curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath the wings shall tell the matter. Chapter 11. Cast thy bread upon the waters, thou shalt find it after many days. Give caution to 7, also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if a tree fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, or how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the work of God who makes all. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand. For thou knowest not whether it shall prosper, even this or that, whether they shall be alike good. Truly the light is sweet, as a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man live many years, and rejoice in them all, let him remember the days of darkness. They shall be many, all that cometh is vanity. So rejoice, O young man, in thy youth. Let thine heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from thine heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. Chapter 12. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, or the years draw nigh, and thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun, or the light of the moon, or the stars be not darkened, or the clouds return after the rain, the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out to the windows be darkened. The doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and you shall rise up at the voice of the bird. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low, and also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go to the streets. Wherever the silver cord be loose, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken, and the fountain of the wheel be broken at the cistern, and the dust shall return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. A vanity of vanity, saith the preacher. All is vanity. Moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he had good heed, and sought out and set in order many proverbs. Preachers sought out to find acceptable words that, what written, was upright, even words of truth. For the words of the wise are as goads, as nails fastened by the masters of the assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. Further these, my son, be admonished, making many books is no end. Much study is a weariness of the flesh. Hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, keep his commands. This is the whole duty of a man. The God shall bring every work in judgment, whether it be secret thing, whether it be good or it be evil.